and the clinical study that you guys performed 5 years ago,
Yeah.
specifically just to be able to show what are the real benefits that we have with the application of the essential oils. So something else that I would like to tell everybody in the region is that our goal next year, to this
Yes.
year, we have 2,500 people, 2,500 people that are already certified in Aroma Touch. We're promised that next year we are gonna go to every single market to do one live event with the person that you are watching right now in your monitors, La Señora Jordan Riggs. And also, we're gonna be able to learn from the very first hand uh, how to apply the technique in the right way, how to correct ourselves from the online training to in life training. So that's part of the process. And our goal next year is just to duplicate this effort. We would like to have 5,000 years, 5,000 people, sorry, 5,000 people certified during the next year with the
Yeah.
online training.
Yeah.
So every one of you that are listening right now, so our goal next year is just to duplicate. If you took the certification, next year you're going to be sure that you're going to invite someone else, one more person, just to take that online training and to start giving Aroma Touch as an experience, the how to use the essential oils. Okay, that's what it is. So that's part of the process, and I would like to start right now talking about the immediate and lasting effects of the Aroma Touch doTERRA technique of topical essential oil application procedure and on autonomic function and salivary biomarkers. This is a pilot trial. The study was submitted April 27 of 2018, was accepted on May 30th, and was published on June 8 of 2018 by the Journal of Integrative Medicine and Therapy. Jordan, you were part of this pivot trial.
Yeah.
Why to do this?
Yeah. So what is so fun is that me, along with all of my colleagues, Damian Rodriguez, Tyler Barr, and several others of us, Catherine Allred, we all got together and we were discussing what we needed to do to solidify and create confidence around all of the essential oils, but specifically Aroma Touch. And as we were discussing and as we were talking about what we could do, we were all saying, let's talk about, let's figure out a way to prove that the Aroma Touch does what we say it does, that it does relax and restore the body and create a physical impact to those stress markers. We wanted to make sure that we could look at things like a self-evaluated anxiety test to see, does somebody actually feel, not only does their body perceive it, but do they emotionally feel that calm come over them? We wanted to know if it affects the inflammatory system. And so we measured some inflammatory markers. We wanted to know, does this actually improve somebody's health and well-being to strengthen and fortify their immunity? And so we looked at all of these different factors, and then we presented our idea to Dr. Hill, and Dr. Hill was thrilled. He was so excited that we were going to be, charging ahead with this idea for this study so that we could show and prove to the world that what we have been saying has been doing what we say it does, has been doing that the whole time, right? That not only have we been saying it, but we can prove it now. And so it just turned into this great thing and we rolled with it and we just kept going down that path until we were ready to start the trial, which was amazing.
And something that it was very, very important too. It was like, I mean, we have been saying that aroma touch is important for your health
Yes.
because relieve the stress,
Mhm.
reduce the systemic inflammation, increase your immune system, and create homeostasis.
Exactly.
Homeostasis means balance,
Mhm.
equilibrium.
Mhm.
And that's what we said,
Yeah.
and those are the most important principles
Mhm.
that we offer when we do the aroma touch technique in someone.
Exactly.
And something else that also is important is that that is a holistic approach, is an integrative approach that we do for people health. So it doesn't matter if your problem is a diabetes. It doesn't matter if your problem is a high blood pressure. It doesn't matter if your problem is an arthritis or inflammatory diseases. So what it really matters is that this approach uh, that offers aroma touch really helps to create balance in your body,
Mhm.
reduce the stress, reduce too many different things that happens when you are under stress.
Yep.
You guys were able to measure
Yeah.
different specific things in people's body, the people that took this clinical trial. Tell us, what were those specific things that you were able to measure during this pivot trial?
Yes, one thing that I want to mention that we added to the study later once we realized that we wanted to prove that we were able to help the body find that balance and find that homeostasis. And the way we were able to prove that is by not only measuring immediately after the aroma touch was performed, but a full 24 hours after that technique was performed, we measured these same things again to be able to prove that it has those long lasting benefits because that homeostasis is balanced out, which was amazing. So these are the things that we measured. We measured heart rate, right? Because heart rate has a lot to do with our stress and managing that and helping the body find that balance with the stress. We also measured mean arterial pressure, which is something that measures that stress level as well as the diastolic blood pressure and the systolic blood pressure. So those were all included in that measure of physical measurements of stress. And then with the emotional and mental side of stress, we had the self assessment for the anxiety score, right? So this was something where they went through a little test. They would answer questions that said how they were feeling or what they were feeling or their levels of how they were feeling. And so that anxiety score gave us the ability to see into the mental and the emotional side of the stress. So both pieces. Then you have cortisol, which is an inflammatory marker in the body. You have SLGA, you have CRP, TNFA, IL-6, IL-1B, 1 beta, and then you have IL-8. And all of those markers are cytokine markers that show and track inflammation in the body. And so we measured all of those to show that physical inflammatory response in the body and to see if that did improve and those levels went down or if they did not improve, right? Because we needed to know if those oils that we say do reduce that inflammatory response or promote the proper inflammatory response, if those were there. And so we measured those as well. And so when you take all of those together and then you do the 24 hours later, that allows us to prove that homeostasis benefit as well, right? And so
That
those
we are able to create that uh, equilibrium or that balance in
exactly,
people's body.
exactly. Yeah. And so, what was very cool about this is that as we went through the study, we were really trying to figure out because we have to have a control group, right? Whenever you're trying to test to see if something actually works the way that you say it does work, you have to have the group that actually receives the real thing, right? They got the full aroma touch experience, they got every single oil, they got all of that benefit from the full aroma touch technique. But then with your control group, you have to perform all of the movements of the aroma touch technique, but we had to eliminate those essential oils being applied directly onto the body, correct? And
Uh-huh.
so it's something where we had to really think through how do we make it seem to somebody on a table that they're receiving the actual real thing, right? That they're receiving the full aroma touch technique, even when they're not. And so we had to really get creative behind the scenes because we thought, oh, maybe we could diffuse the essential oils in the room. But you can't diffuse the oils in the room, or else they're going to know right away because it's going to smell like the aroma touch already before they even get on the table, right? And the thing about the aroma touch technique is that we layer those essential oils in a way that it creates this synergistic aroma that only can be created when you layer those oils the way we do and in the order that we do. And so we really had to get creative and really get thinking through how can we do that to make sure that we're not compromising the study in any way. And so we knew that we wanted to use fractionated coconut oil to apply on the back so that it gives that placebo effect of receiving essential oils on the body. But it was something where we still had to create that aromatic profile without it being applied directly to them. And so what we decided we would do is we would grab the essential oils, and we had a little spot on the table where we would drop each of the oils and layer them on top of each other as it was happening on the body. So for example, if I were to place balance on the body, I was using fractionated coconut oil, but then I would grab the bottle of balance and drop a drop of the oil so that aromatically it could fill the room a little bit. But then it was on the table, not on their body. And every single person that was in that placebo effect group after the study came to me and they said, I've got to know, did I receive the real thing or not? And it was so funny because every single person was convinced that they had received the real thing. And so it was crazy. We were totally able to fool them into thinking that they had received the real thing. And so what was cool about that is that we knew that they for sure were a control group that we could count on, that it did create that placebo effect that we were looking for, so that we knew that the aroma touch was the real deal when we measured these measurements out. And so as we went through, what we would do throughout the study is we would have them come in for an aroma touch technique once a week for 6 weeks, I believe, or 3 weeks. I can't remember. It was either 3 or 6 weeks. But what we did is we performed the aroma touch for them. We would measure them before, we would measure all their measurements. So blood pressure, the heart rate, all the self-anxiety testing. We did the measurements of their saliva, which allowed us to track all of those inflammatory markers and everything in the body that way, right? Because we didn't want to do a blood test. That was a little bit invasive because we can get all of that from saliva. And so we had them do a saliva test, and we had them do all the physical measurements with the blood pressure and heart rate and the self-anxiety score. And then immediately after the aroma touch technique, they would receive those same measurements. And then we took it that extra step further and had them do it the 24 hours after. And so they would receive 3 measurements every single time they came to receive an aroma touch technique. And so when we got done with all of the measurements, we got through all of the weeks of the trial, we then gathered all of that information. And what we found was amazing. So when you're looking at studies and you're looking at things that are statistically significant, that means that it is beyond a shadow of a doubt that something did change and it did improve for one group over the other. And so when you have something that's statistically significant, that's amazing, right? Having one thing that's statistically significant. But we were able to find 2 things that were statistically significant and 2 other things that were nearly statistically significant, which is fascinating. That is amazing to have that much benefit come from just one trial, which is awesome. So the things that were statistically significant when we measured for that immediate benefit after they received a technique, right? So this means they've gone through 40 minutes of receiving the aroma touch technique experience, and they have gotten measured, and their measurements from before and after, their heart rate was statistically significant, which is amazing. They were able to drop it nearly 12.2% on average, which is so it is like just
They,
baffling.
they were able to reduce the blood pressure.
Yes, they were
So that
able
was
to reduce the
basically
heart rate, the heart rate.
okay.
Yes,
Let me ask you some questions because people
yes,
are so excited, you know.
yes.
How many people do we have in this clinical trial, in this pilot trial?
So in this trial, it was a smaller group because we did it with a group of people that were those that did not have any major concerns, because we wanted to make sure that even somebody who didn't have a major concern would see benefit. And so that it could prove that we had enough. So we did 18 people. We had 18 people. And so 9 people were in the control, and then 9 people were in the regular group receiving the full effect, right? And so as we went through both of those groups, we wanted to keep it small for this study. But then in our hand technique study, we actually ended up doing double the amount. We had 36 people. We did 18 and 18 for that study. But yeah, so 18
That's
people.
perfect. That's perfect. And just to be able to illustrate our audience, it is important when we do these pilot trials, we try to do it with a small group of people
Yes.
that we can control, people that we can measure things in a period of time, just to be able what are the benefits and what are the results, and how the things are going to work for them in the long term. So something that is very interesting, when Jordan was talking about the cortisol is very well known hormone, stress hormone. That's the stress hormone. It's a hormone that your body is gonna create when your body is feeling that are under stress. So if we are able to measure in the saliva the levels of the cortisol, we know that people are working under stress. That's part of the process. So what they did, it was basically to measure that cortisol level in people's saliva during the time they receive aromatouch and 24 hours after they receive the aromatouch. Is to be sure that those cortisol levels were stable when in the same level. So that's part of the process. The second marker that is important is the C-reactive protein. Your body, your liver specifically, is the one that are able to produce this C-reactive protein. It's a protein that it is created by your liver when you are having inflammatory processes inside your body. So that tells you how inflammation is attacking your body and the different organs. So that's why it's important. The other process that also was measured, it was the cardiovascular measurements. The systolic and diastolic blood pressure, the heart rate. So how many times your heart are pumping during 1 minute. So that way you also are able to measure the stress levels, how the stress affect your cardiovascular health. So that's what it is. That's why it's so important to have access to this kind of data, because it's not only like, okay, I'm going to put this oil because I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel nice, because I think that this thing is doing something for me. But it's also because it's science behind this oil. This essential oil have something that is really is going to help you just to improve your health, improve the stress, reduce the blood pressure, let you to rest. There is another kind of study that you were able to perform, and is the Spielberg State Anxiety Inventory.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a test that every one of the individuals were able to answer during the process, more than 40 different questions, just to measure the level of anxiety that they may have during the time that they were doing this pilot trial. So that is so important, Jordan. I think we are the only company that does all these kind of proof,
Yes.
just to be sure that the essential oils really work.
Yeah, exactly. And that is what was so rewarding at the end of this, was to know that we were making a difference and we were making an impact in somebody's daily health and daily wellness, not just like their physical health, but also their emotional and mental health. And the fact that you could do all of those things, that you could attack and benefit all 3 of those areas of somebody's life with one technique, that was amazing. It was like uncomprehendable that we were able to benefit people in such a huge way with all 3 of those facets of people's life. And so it was very, very exciting to see that we had that mean arterial pressure come down, that we had the anxiety score come down, that we had the CRP levels come down. But then not only that, 24 hours later, every single inflammatory marker showed improvement, and 4 out of the 5 showed statistical significant improvement, which is amazing. I mean, that is unheard of, to have every single inflammatory marker show benefit, that the body was healing and the body was soothing itself and was allowed to release those inflammatory markers or let the inflammation go that is holding somebody back from feeling healthy and getting to that place of homeostasis. That was amazing. That was truly just revelatory in its own right. It was amazing.
That's why I would like to tell everybody
Yes.
just to perform
Yes.
one aroma touch once a week at least for the
Yes.
people that they are trying to help. For
Yes.
sure, aroma touch
Yes.
is gonna provide an amazing benefit for people health.
Yeah.
It's gonna help the people just to relieve too many of those different causes that may be having, you
Mhm.
know, one of the most important problems that they are having right now with the different, it doesn't matter, like I said, it doesn't matter what kind of disease you have.
Mhm.
So Aromatouch is going to help you just to get better, to feel better.
Yeah.
And it's going to help your body to be able to repair yourself. Remember, you repair yourself. You give your body the different tools
Mhm.
for your body to be able to work by itself and heal by itself.
Yeah.
That's what we want. That's what we do with the aroma touch.
Yeah.
So, what
It
else happened during this pilot trial,
was.
Jordan, that you can share with us?
That was actually something that I wanted to address now. Something that I personally, from my own perspective, found so um eye-opening, and something that really became important to me when it came to the aroma touch is the touch. So when you look at the placebo, it was the full aroma touch technique with all of the movements, with that comforting, soothing, relaxing, trusting touch that we provide through the aroma touch technique. That type of touch is different. And when you perform that type of touch and give that type of touch to someone else, it's a trust that, or it's a touch that helps somebody feel safe. It's a touch that somebody gets comforted by. It's a touch that allows that person to feel comfortable to heal and let go of things and to create this physical connection with them through that touch did create benefit. And so having that touch and having the oils is what makes the aroma touch technique exponentially more powerful. So yes, the oils have a benefit. And yes, you could slap a, On Guard on, or you could put all of these oils on. And yes, you will receive benefit. But when you add the touch to all of the physical benefits that we know the essential oils can bring, when you bring those two things together, that's where it becomes exponentially more powerful and exponentially more beneficial to the body, because we all need that. As human beings, we were designed to help each other, and we were designed to be part of this journey together. And so when we're able to connect these things, when we're able to care for somebody in the way that the aroma touch technique provides, that brings something that you can't just formulate by shaking someone's hand or patting them on the back. It does create a different experience for somebody. And so when somebody is receiving the aroma touch and when you're giving the aroma touch, you both are benefiting because of that comfort and um, you know, situation and experience that you're providing. But then as the giver, you're receiving a ton of the aromatic benefits from the essential oils. And as somebody who serves, there's been studies that have been proven on service that as you serve, your body is able to heal and get better, and your stress levels come down, and your anxiety comes down because you're serving somebody else. And so it truly is this mutually beneficial experience for both people. And so it's so cool to see all of these pieces come together.
That's very nice. That's something that really make me so happy to know that doTERRA did something like this pilot trial. It is important not only to believe, but it's important also to show.
Mm,
It is important to prove
yeah,
what are the real benefits that we can get with the essential oils when we apply the essential oils.
exactly.
That's why, I mean, the invitation is for everybody. Just to get online to do the training
Yeah.
and to learn this application of essential oils technique.
Mm,
That's what it is. It's not a massage, it's an application of essential oils technique that
yes.
we are using to help people to get better.
Yeah.
So
I
something
think,
else that
sorry.
was also very
Yeah.
important,
Go
it's
ahead.
that I mean, we have people, Jordan, from North America Latino, from
Mhm,
Canada, from Mexico, from Guatemala, from El Salvador, Costa Rica, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, España, Portugal, and Italy
mhm.
today listening. And something else that is going to be also very important is that we are recording this webinar. So you guys gonna have available all these material, the conversation that we are having right now with Jordan, just to be able to repeat, to learn. So I hope Johan is gonna be able also to share with you this specific study. You know, he have the file. You just can put the file into the chat for everybody to be able to download it and to have access. Please, Johan, do it and also, I mean, for them to be able to read and understand. You
Yeah.
know, it's not something that doTERRA is saying because we want to sell more. No, that's
Yes.
because we want to do the best for the
Yeah.
people that we take care of.
Well, and
So
I think
that's what
the
it
other,
really matters.
yeah, and the other piece of that is that the reason for this study, when it really came down to why we did this study, it was so that everybody could trust the process, that everybody could find confidence, that they could go to somebody and say, I can help you and I know how to help you. And if you follow the instructions of the aroma touch, if you do it exactly as we have told you and taught you how to perform it through the online certification process, you are going to be able to help people and you're going to have the amazing, wonderful experiences that we've been able to have. You're going to have confidence and trust us that you will be able to provide such amazing essential oil experiences to people that you will change people's lives.
And that's what it is. That's what is important about it. So something else that is very important too is just to analyze the combination of essential oils that we are using when we
Yes.
are giving
Yeah.
aroma touch. Balance, lavender, tea tree oil, on guard, aroma touch blend, deep blue,
Mhm,
wild orange, and peppermint oil.
mhm,
Every one of those essential oils are giving too many different components that are going to work for people's health, like linalool and linalool acetate,
mhm,
and terpene 4 and terpene N, like the tea tree oil. And also the blend of the on guard, it's giving you limonel and eugenol. And
mhm,
aroma touch blend is giving you menthol, linalool, limonene, and alpha pinene.
mhm,
And deep blue blend is giving you methyl salicylato and menthol. And wild orange is giving you limonel. And peppermint oil is giving you menthol.
mhm,
So it's some of the chemistry, when we're talking about the chemistry of the different essential oils, when we are studying some of the most common essential oils, we find that, for example, the peppermint oil. Peppermint oil contain menthol.
mhm,
The menthol is very well known because work with the channels of calcium inside your cells. That's why it's able to reduce the blood pressure.
mhm,
And that's why the results that they have when they were checking those patients' blood pressure, those participants in this pilot trial, the blood pressure levels get down because the use of the menthol, which is one of the most important components that we find into these essential oils like peppermint, like deep blue, like the aromatouch blend. So that's why they work, and that's why they are so important. I mean, tools that gonna help your body to be able to restore and to get better. So what else can we have for the next year, Jordan? What do you have prepared for the next year calendar that we have on Aromatouch?
I think it's just something where we are going to blast you with lots of resources and materials. I am so excited to be able to support you guys and partner with you and lock arm in arm to help you be successful in Aroma Touch and to be successful in providing this experience to as many people as possible. One thing that I think could be kind of fun is, what do you think about doing an Aroma Touch competition?
I would love it. I would love to have an Aromatouch competition in all our different wellness advocates across the region.
I think it would be pretty awesome, right? Hey, Johan's getting really excited about that over there. I think it's something that is so fun because it may be a competition, but it's a competition where we're helping people. We're not just doing a competition where we're not able to create a wonderful experience for people. And so that's what I love about the idea of an Aroma Touch competition, right? Is because it's all service oriented. And it's something that can really help people get excited and get confident to share, because now it could be a competition and then people don't feel scared to ask somebody, hey, I've got to do an aroma touch on you because I'm in a competition and you're going to help me, right? And so we should do that. Let's do a competition.
Yeah, how can we do a competition between all 2,500 people plus the another 2,500 people that we're going to have next year?
You know what? I think we can do it, Cesar. I think we can make it work. I think it's something where we will figure out all of those details behind the scenes and then we will launch it and it will be amazing. But I think it would be really, really fun. And I think we could come up with some really special gifts that we could give for the people that win the competition. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure we will. I mean, that's something that it really made me happy just to think that the next year we're going to be able to work side by side with
Yes.
all our wellness advocates in the
Yep.
region and the different countries, no matter where you are.
Yep.
So we're gonna get there. We
Let's do
wanna
it.
go with we wanna go with Jordan. We wanna do the live events for you just to be able to meet this personality that you have in front of your monitors and learn from her. You
Yeah.
know, she is one of the most important persons in the Aroma Touch world. That's why she's the global manager of Aroma Touch in doTERRA. And she's one of those persons that have more knowledge about the technique, about how to apply, about how to move your fingers, about how to make people feel that they are really helping and improving their health. So that's something that we are really wondering to do during the 2024 next year
Mhm.
with every single market.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's a good idea just to do this contest and
Yeah.
see how you guys are getting more and more and more people,
Mhm.
to get certified, to take this online training. So all those markets in the Latin America, and if you don't have access, please let us know. Let
Yes.
us know if you feel that it's difficult for you to have access, because we want to make it easier for you
Yes.
is to be
Yes.
able to get the training, to be
Yes.
able to get certified by the Aromatouch team. So
Yeah.
that's something that we really want to create. And I would like to thank you so much, Jordan. We know, I mean, you weren't prepared for this webinar. At the beginning, it was Dr. Hill. Unfortunately, he got this very last minute call
I know.
with
He was
his partners.
devastated. He was devastated. He was so sad
Yeah,
that he couldn't be here with all of you because he was looking forward to it so much. It was an emergency board meeting that they ended up having to do together. Just all of the executives that are here today had to go emergency into a meeting. And so he really was so sad. But I do want to extend his love and his appreciation for each and every one of you. Dr. Hill is one of the most amazing, most humble human beings I've ever met in my entire life. And I have been so honored and humbled myself to be able to be mentored by him with the aroma touch technique, because as I've seen him go out to all of the markets that he visits and go to conventions and get all of these things done for you, he does it all because he loves you and he wants you to be able to help people with the essential oils. He wants you to be able to feel empowered, to be able to do something. That's what he felt with the aroma touch. He felt like the aroma touch filled this void for people when they feel like there's nothing that they can do and they feel helpless and they sit there and they say, I don't know what to do. That the aroma touch could be what they could do for somebody, that is the thing that they could gravitate towards to really empower themselves again and get that confidence back that they can do something, that when there's nothing to do, you can do the aroma touch. And so I want to make sure that I share his thanks and his appreciation that you guys are here, that you're wanting to learn, that you're wanting to understand so that you can go out and share with confidence.
We did too many things during the 2023. We went to Chile, and
Mhm.
also we did another 2 or 3 different webinars
Yeah,
with Dr. Hill, and also with Jordan teaching us how to apply aromatage and also how to do the beauty with
yeah,
the different products that we have for the skincare products. So be sure that the next year we're going to start doing exactly the same kind of activities for every one of you to be able to learn how to use the aromatage and how to benefit people's life with
yeah,
the uses of the aromatage and the different benefits.
yeah.
So anyways, the time is killing us. It's already
Yeah.
1 hour that
I
we have.
know it went by like in a blink.
Yeah, that's what it is. But Johan, it's time for you just to say bye to everybody. Thank you so very much for
Yes.
every one of you that were able to come over. We know this is not the best time. Everybody's working, everybody's doing some different activities. However, I'm so grateful for everybody who was able to show up during this webinar, more than 500 people, and also because we were able to share with you some of the most important things about this study that it was performed just to prove the benefit of the application of essential oils, aroma touch. Johan already shared the aroma touch study. For everyone, you guys are going to be able to download it to your own computers and read by yourselves and translate everything if you have a different language, and that is the most important thing. Johan.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much, Jordan, for your present in this webinar. For we love you forever and ever. Doctor César, muchísimas gracias. Gracias por darnos estos espacios. De verdad que estamos muy felices. Más de 600 personas acá. Ya compartimos el estudio. También lo vamos a mandar por correo a este correo que usted se registró. Y de verdad que estamos muy felices. El próximo año vienen retos, ya Jordan nos dijo, y creo que eso sería una buena opción para poder compartir más beneficios sobre los productos y la técnica Aroma Touch en todo lo que es América Latina y podemos permear muchísimas cosas positivas. Así que estamos muy felices y yo creo que el reto ahora es cómo poder sumar más personas a ese registro, a poder hacer la técnica en línea. Antes teníamos que hacerla presencial, tenemos este beneficio, nos podemos certificar y podemos permear muchas cosas positivas. Así que muchas gracias, Jordan. Te amamos. Gracias por estar compartiendo por tu espacio también. Doctor César Rey, de verdad, muchas gracias, muy complacidos. Esto lo vamos, este webinar está grabado, está en nuestras redes sociales y lo vamos a compartir también por medio de YouTube. Así que, de verdad, muchas gracias por su presencia, gracias por estar compartiendo por acá y yo creo que vienen muchas cosas muy positivas.